Every year, we have a quarterback who makes impressive throws at the combine or at their pro day. Or they start to get buzz based on not just the physical attributes that make them pop on film, but on the mental aspects that most fans aren't able to identify by watching them on Saturday. JJ McCarthy is the one quarterback whose draft stock has risen more than any other prospect this year, going from, maybe a second, third round pick all the way up into the mid to early first round in some mock drafts. McCarthy is a prospect who isn't at all like the others. Having a season where he didn't blow it up in the stat sheet. He finished 35th in yards, under 3,000 passing yards, 37th in the NCAA in passing touchdowns at 22, and had a running back on his team who finished the season with 27 touchdowns. He was really carried by his running game at Michigan. But he managed to bring home a national championship. His box scores simply don't scream NFL starter. So today, I want to show you on film what makes JJ McCarthy a first-round pick for some analysts out there, while also showing you why his lack of college stats are actually concerning for his transition to the NFL. So when I look at JJ McCarthy, the term game manager comes to mind, and I mean this as no disrespect, no shot, no dig to the guy, because I think he has a chance to flip the term game manager on its head in the NFL. He is a game manager with upside. And there's probably only one other game manager with major upside in the NFL, and I think that's Brock Purdy, who just went to a Super Bowl, who threw 31 touchdowns and passed for over 4,000 yards this year. So now let me show you throws all over the field that I think, game manager, quote unquote, JJ McCarthy makes all the time and are plastered all over his film that will definitely easily translate to the NFL. And this throw is the first throw, obviously, I'm going to show you that I'm breaking down, but to me, it just shows exactly what I'm talking about when I mean game manager. I don't mean it as a dig or disrespect. I think it's an invaluable thing to have on an NFL roster, a quarterback who gets the ball out on time. And honestly, even better than on time, perfect timing. Like here, you see JJ McCarthy is throwing this ball and he is just about to finish, actually release the ball. And his receiver hasn't even turned around yet for the curl. By the time his receiver turns around, the ball is on him, catch it. And the thing that I love, I preach in every one of my scouting videos I do. I love getting the ball in your receiver's hands and letting them make a play. His receiver can catch the ball, turn, break for the first down. If he threw this a little bit late, he might be able to catch the ball still. But that corner is coming up and making a tackle, and we don't have a first down. All right, so now I'm going to do a mini rant here really quickly. So the thing that I love and hate, it's kind of a double-edged sword with JJ McCarthy, is that he never gets tired of taking checkdowns in the easy stuff that's open. Here, it's 1st and 10. Smart play. He takes the stick option route here where the second his receiver breaks, it's open, he catches it, breaks for a first down, might be a little short, but at least you set your offense up for a 2nd and 1 where you have the most, run-dominant offense in probably the entire college game right now. Great. Smart play. But what I don't want him to fall into habit of, and which I felt like he did at certain times in his college career, is the same thing I gripe on with Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. Bo Nix would routinely, over and over again, always take the easy things. And he never went and took a chance on a jump ball or a back shoulder throw down the field and one-on-one coverage. And I don't want JJ McCarthy to fall under that category because, I'll show you later, he definitely does at times, where he gets baited on 2nd and 10s to throw the 4-yard stick route because defenses will just play back, let him get it, and then they'll crash. When he might have had one-on-one coverage somewhere and he just didn't take the opportunity to push the ball downfield. And then here's just another throw that isn't too complicated, right? It's just a slant basically at the top of the screen. But what I like is that game manager JJ McCarthy knows how to freeze that middle linebacker. I'll show you here. Immediately on 2nd and 5, he looks left and he's looking at his receiver in the slot at the bottom of the screen. But in all reality, he sees that it's not open. McCarthy knows to flip his hips and he has the slant at the top of the screen. If he doesn't freeze this linebacker, this ball can get easily picked off in that small gap in the green. But JJ McCarthy freezes that linebacker and fits it in that window for a great first down. But it's not everything just, 5 yards down the field on little curls, sticks, and outs, right? He can throw it over the middle of the field with some velocity on the ball. Now, I don't think JJ McCarthy has naturally one of the strongest arms in the class, but when he gets his feet under him and really drives through the ball, it's on a line. You see it here against Nebraska, right? He drops back. And the thing that I admire probably the most about JJ McCarthy is I think easily he has the best footwork in this entire class of anyone. He never has bad footwork. His feet are always under him. You see here, he goes back, he climbs in the pocket, and then he drives through this ball to deliver a darty right over the middle of the field for a great first down. Here's another in-breaking route against Nebraska. And what I said before just doesn't apply here, right? He doesn't take the check down. It's 3rd and 7, and he waits, and he finds his receiver. As soon as he breaks on that inside defender, he gets inside leverage, and the ball is on him. I mean, it's just great timing from J.J. McCarthy. You know, I like when he pushes the ball downfield and doesn't settle for checkdowns. And here's a throw I want to show you that I just don't see from prospects all the time super consistently, and it's a corner route. Now, I know that seems like a very, basic route in the NFL, but here, J.J. McCarthy throws this ball against East Carolina absolutely perfectly. He fits it between 2 defenders, and he puts it in literally the only spot where his receiver can get it. Right on his outside shoulder, makes a nice easy hands catch, and allows his receiver to get 2 feet down in bounds. Easy touchdown. This throw is awesome. And here's another slot corner route against East Carolina. Here, J.J. McCarthy drops back, he drives through this ball, and delivers a really nice, accurate ball to his outside receiver. But the other thing that I really like about this play is not just the accuracy, it's the timing and him being able to read a defense. You have to watch for that defender in yellow. If that defender in yellow sinks backwards towards the receiver that he's actually trying to throw to, that ball is easily picked off. I mean, we see it millions of times, especially with backup quarterbacks in the NFL. They come in and they immediately force this throw, and it's like an easy pick 10 out of 10 times. If that corner drops, J.J. McCarthy has to be able to check it down to the guy that's in the out route flat area. But J.J. McCarthy waits until that defender breaks off towards the defender that's in the out route flat area, which leaves his receiver for the corner route wide open. McCarthy hits it, first down. All right, and the next 2 clips I'm going to show you are back shoulder throws. And it's the one thing from J.J. McCarthy's film that I wish I saw more of. I wish he took more opportunities to throw one-on-one coverage to the back shoulder receiver. Because truthfully, he doesn't do it a ton. But I see it, 2 or 3 times in his film, and I go, man, if this guy can make this throw more often, I think he could really be successful in the NFL. I just need to see it more. And this throw here really solidifies it for me that, hey, J.J. McCarthy can make nearly every throw in the field no matter where you ask him to put it. Here, the seam route. This ball is in a perfect location with perfect velocity. You don't want to put too much air under the ball for safety to come over and make a play. You don't want to throw it too far behind the receiver, because if you do, 27 is going to be able to come over and pick it off or deflect it away. You want to avoid all of that. McCarthy drops back, he climbs in the pocket like he always does. Great footwork, and drives through this ball and delivers a pinpoint ball up the middle of the field for a great touchdown. And here's the last positive throw from the pocket that I want to show you. Next, we'll get to J.J. McCarthy, making good throws on the run. But here, he comes off a play action, and the thing I like is he takes that step, one kind of hop into the throw, and delivers a dart up the middle of the field. J.J. McCarthy doesn't throw a ton of go routes. It's the one thing you will not see, and we'll talk about here in a little bit. But if you give him a nice open post, that guy will let it rip and find an open receiver. The go routes, not so much. But hey, anything else down the field, he'll throw it. All right, and here's the one skill of J.J. McCarthy that I just haven't even mentioned yet at this point of the video. It's his athletic ability and ability to make throws outside of the pocket. And this is why I say that J.J. McCarthy is a plus, if you will, game manager. He's not just your basic game manager where he gets throws out on time and that's it. He can make bigger plays with his feet that most people can't, aka Brock Purdy style. Here on all these throws I'm showing you, he stands tall in the pocket and he looks and looks. And if there's pressure, he avoids it, gets outside the pocket. And the one thing that I like the most about all of this is he doesn't always look to just scramble. He keeps his eyes downfield and finds open receivers. I mean, you'll see it on all of these throws, and we'll break down this throw right here. All right, and then this play is really special for me because I see J.J. McCarthy do a lot of things here. For starters, the D end at the top of the screen is going to do a stunt where he fakes going to the outside and really breaks it back towards the A gap and is pretty much unblocked. But J.J. McCarthy has the ability and the awareness to just make that guy completely miss and not just stop in the pocket. He extends out because he knows that pressure is coming. He goes towards the line of scrimmage, and then he finds an open receiver on the run last second for a great touchdown. Here's another great play where Michigan's left tackle just basically whiffs on the block, and it's up to J.J. McCarthy to pull out some magic. On 1st and 10, he could just throw this ball away. He could take the easy, all right, we'll do it again on 2nd down. But he doesn't need to because he's so talented. He spins out backside, and he has the ability to outrun number 9, drift towards the sideline, wait for something to break open. He waits and waits, throws at the last second, but that causes the defense to break down and lets Wilson in the back of the end zone buy enough time to break off his route and get open for a great touchdown. That's improv skills that makes him more than just a simplistic game manager. JJ McCarthy is more than that. And this play really demonstrates why JJ McCarthy might be a first-round pick and why his draft stock has risen so much after the season while teams have more film and more time to study his game. Because what he does inside the pocket is pretty special. Here it's 3rd and 9, right? He doesn't do what I said, right? Up to this point, he's proven me wrong that I said, he checks down too much. Because all the examples I show you of him on 3rd down, he isn't. But here it is. This play is great. It looks basic. It looks like pressure comes, he climbs the pocket and makes the throw on the run. Nothing too insane. But it's way more than that. He knows how to maneuver within a pocket. Here he slides out to the right, and I think most quarterbacks would have just kept running to the sideline. They would have went outside the tackle. But if JJ McCarthy did that stunt from the D lineman would have ran into him and killed him. But JJ McCarthy has the ability to plant his feet and then extend up in the pocket. He sees that outside pressure, instant. He has the little bit like twitchy acceleration, not maybe a huge top end speed guy, but the acceleration to pull away, get away from defenders. He extends up in the pocket. And then the one thing I like about this more than my number 2 prospect, Jaden Daniels, I like comparing these quarterbacks. I think Jaden Daniels is my number 2 quarterback still in this draft. But the one thing Jaden Daniels didn't do is on this play, if he was in this situation, he would have took off and ran. Maybe he would have got the first down. Maybe he would have got tackled by an athletic safety. JJ McCarthy doesn't do that. Jaden Daniels would have, like I said, ran. JJ McCarthy keeps his eyes up downfield and makes a throw where someone like Jaden Daniels would just have ran and not looked down the field. He would have just used his athleticism to try to run around a linebacker or a safety. But McCarthy knows, I'm probably not going to get this 3rd and 8, so I need to make a throw. And he finds a guy open for a great touchdown. All right, after talking very positively about JJ McCarthy for 12 minutes, now comes the part of the video where I have to show off his weaknesses. These concerns are the reason why McCarthy was initially not valued as a first-round pick, and these reasons are why, come April 25th, we might not hear his name get called. I want to start with one of my biggest concerns for JJ McCarthy, and that's his inconsistency with accuracy. When JJ McCarthy puts the ball on someone, it's usually accurate, but like Drake May in a lot of ways with this is when he misses, God, the guy misses. I mean, airmails, short throws, underthrowing deep shots, overthrowing deep shots. It's not that sometimes balls just aren't put in good spots. It's either they're in good spots or they're in horrific spots with JJ McCarthy. And what makes it so alarming for me is that JJ McCarthy, if you stack up his passing attempts to just about every other quarterback prospect in this class, he's easily dead last. I mean, the guy went to a game against Penn State and threw the ball 10 times. So when I see JJ McCarthy, miss 8 throws on 25 passing attempts, and then I see, Michael Penix Jr., who's throwing the ball 40 to 45 times a game, miss, 8 to 10 throws, I'm a little bit more concerned with JJ McCarthy. When I say this next statement, I mean this with the least amount of disrespect I can say it, but flat out, JJ McCarthy sucks at throwing the ball deep. I don't care what you say. I saw it at the combine. He threw 4 go routes and completed one of them. Now, I know that's the combine, million excuses. I kind of don't care. He overthrew, underthrew, and then finally completed one in the combine. Here, against Michigan State, this receiver is wide open. The defender literally falls down, and JJ McCarthy overthrows his receiver. You just cannot miss a throw this bad in the NFL. At least underthrow it a little bit. Give your guy a chance to make a play. But McCarthy just doesn't have the deep ball touch that all the other prospects in this class have. And then next play I'm going to show you here against Bowling Green. It's the same thing. McCarthy looks the entire time bottom of the screen to his receiver. And sadly, you can't see it because the camera work's not the best. But that receiver is wide open by 10 yards. And McCarthy just doesn't put enough touch on the ball and overthrows it. This ball is kind of flat on a line. Put some air under it. Underthrow it. Just complete it. The one place you cannot miss is long. And that's exactly what McCarthy does here. He just doesn't possess the touch I need from a deep ball passer at the next level. And this flea flicker against Bowling Green will perfectly encapsulate the limitations of JJ McCarthy as a downfield passer. He doesn't have the naturally big arm like I've mentioned a few times. And here, sure, it ends up being a touchdown, but that's completely lucky against Bowling Green. I mean, it's a tip pass. He underthrows this by a lot. JJ McCarthy, when he doesn't have time to really climb the pocket, and here, he doesn't really have enough space to progress up in the pocket and kind of do a hop and then into a throw, he gets the pitch and just has to throw it. And he doesn't have the wing to make it down the field. Still a good arm. Not saying his arm is terrible, but, at the next level, this ball's picked. This ball's incomplete. It doesn't get tipped up in the air and you're lucky. So McCarthy has to put enough air on the ball, or if he's going to underthrow it, you have to high point it for a receiver to go get it. This ball is picked off at the next level easily. All right, and my favorite moment of this video is coming now. The one thing I've wanted to talk about, I think JJ McCarthy's biggest weakness as a prospect, as a quarterback, is his unwillingness to take one-on-one shots. You saw a couple clips at the beginning of the video of him throwing back shoulder fades, but in reality, it was like 2 or 3 clips. I need to see it more. And here we have man-on-man coverage. We have one-on-one across the field, one safety dropping back, and everyone else is coming on a blitz. So we have cover one man across the field. JJ McCarthy has to recognize quicker that, hey, I have a one-on-one slot receiver going on a fade, and I need to throw a back shoulder, a jump ball. I need to throw something. I know the pressure came quick, and he had to get the ball out. But I just want to see McCarthy drop back and throw something to that slot receiver instead of settling on a third down on just a simple check down to his tight end. I know it's easy. I know it gets you a couple extra yards for that field goal, makes it just a little bit easier. But I am telling you, as NFL fans, we get tired of the, oh, sweet, man, good job checking it down on third down and not going for the first down. It works sometimes, but after a while, fan bases get tired of that, aka Derek Carr. We're tired of it. We want to see someone go deep, and I want to see JJ McCarthy at the next level. If he has a big slot receiver that he can use, a big slot weapon, which I'm sure he will, go for this pass and complete a deep bomb. And the worst case scenario is maybe it gets picked off, sure. But more than likely, you're either going to get a catch, pass interference, or it's going to fall incomplete. I take those chances over passing it to my tight end on 3rd and 7 for a 4-yard gain. And this is the perfect example of what I meant when I said JJ McCarthy can get baited into throws. Here against UNLV, we know that JJ McCarthy likes to take the easy routes. It's 2nd and 10, right? He's going to say, you're going to leave this guy open, for a little out route, my tight end out route, slot out route. UNLV says, throw it. We know you're going to throw it, dude. Just throw it, and everyone's going to come down and make a tackle for a gain of 5. We'll settle for that. And that's exactly what JJ McCarthy does. Instead of holding the ball for maybe just another half second and then throwing to one-on-one coverage at the top of his screen, they go, nah, we know you're too scared, JJ McCarthy, so just check it down, we'll make a tackle, and let's hope you screw up on 3rd down and we can get you off the field. Instead of McCarthy just being aggressive and holding the ball for a half second and throwing a go route to the receiver at the top of the screen, he settles, checks it down. And this play absolutely crushes me as someone who scouts quarterbacks. Here against Alabama, the slot receiver's in motion, and he's going to run a deep post. The second he cuts, this ball needs to be out in the back of the end zone, waiting for a receiver to come and make a play. And JJ McCarthy just doesn't throw it. He's too scared. He doesn't want to take the risk. It's there. The defender in green goes with the crosser, and the defender in red starts to bail, but once he sees the ball's out, then he breaks to the ball where it actually gets thrown. JJ McCarthy has to let this ball go. He needs to have the guts to complete a deep shot against really tough competition. You don't win in the NFL by taking checkdowns. And then, after all of that, you don't want to go there. Your running back is wide open. He broke away from his defender. JJ McCarthy, you have to throw that ball earlier. Let your running back catch the ball and run after the catch and make a play instead of making him do a toe tap against the sideline. JJ McCarthy just has to not be afraid to throw the ball. And here's one more throw I want to show you against Indiana. Here, JJ McCarthy drops back, and he just has an easy completion over the middle, but he just doesn't want to force it simply because there's a little bit of risk, right? He sees it just a little bit too late. And that might be doesn't want to take the risk. He might have just seen it too late. But either way, if you have 2 receivers over the middle of the field, I need you to throw it to one of them because I know that's where you're looking. I mean, look at his head. When he flips back, he should just look and fire. But he's hesitant and he takes a sack for pretty much, honestly, no reason in that situation. The second he flips his hips and he turns his head and he goes back to the middle of the field, he should have threw it to one of the two receivers over the middle of the field. He shouldn't miss this throw. All right, and before we end the video, the last thing I wanted to talk about, ended on a good note, is JJ McCarthy's athleticism. Now, he's not going to wow you with his speed and athleticism, but he's definitely not someone who's just a statue in the pocket. I mean, here's a 30-yard rushing touchdown that he just takes off and he runs, and he outruns everybody. You know what I mean? No one's even near him to catch him. He gets a safety, he kind of makes a miss, gets a good block, but still, I mean, he outruns everybody on this play. And that's the one thing. Like I said, JJ McCarthy, he's not Jaden Daniels in this class, right? He's not going to be out in the NFL rushing for 800 yards. But could he be the 300 to 400 yard rusher every year? Most definitely. The play extender. He is the improv guy. He's really good at it. He's Brock Purdy-ish. And the type of rusher that JJ McCarthy isn't just like a top end speed guy where you get him in a straight line, he can move. Like here, he's weaving, right? Like he's decelerating, accelerating again. He's making guys miss. He's making defenders take tough angles that players like Daniel Jones, for instance, right, had a big rushing season in the NFL. But he's not really like this either. He's more of a top end speed guy. JJ McCarthy has a little wiggle to him that let him create with his legs at the next level. And here's a nice red zone read option from JJ McCarthy, and just watch what he does to this defender. He kind of puts him in a blender and he beats him to the edge. You know, I know Minnesota obviously isn't the best football NFL talent school there is out there to really, compare to NFL talent, but did JJ McCarthy just put a defensive back 24 on skates? I think he did. And here's another read option in the red zone for JJ McCarthy. And here, does he make a safety take a bad pursuit angle because he's kind of sneaky athletic? Absolutely. And when he does he break that tackle? Yes. And then does he take a hit and extend the ball over the pylon for a touchdown? Absolutely. Here's another great play from JJ McCarthy where you go, dang, JJ, like I didn't know you had this in your bag. He drops back, he waits, he's looking, and then the D tackle starts to come. But JJ McCarthy's able to make the D tackle miss because, truthfully, he has sneaky acceleration. Then he gets out into the second level, and there's a linebacker. And every other prospect in this class, except for Jaden Daniels, would have just taken a hit in the middle of the field or slid, but not JJ McCarthy. He has enough wiggle to bounce this outside, make that linebacker also take a bad angle and miss, and then keep going and get out of bounds. JJ McCarthy's athleticism is something that, it doesn't really register on the stat sheet, but dang, on the film, it's there. So at the end of the day, JJ McCarthy is a prospect who I think will step in right away and play for whatever franchise does decide to take the chance. He's one of the most well-polished QBs in the entire class. He doesn't feel like a project at all. And for that reason, a team who can't afford to take a big risk at quarterback will take McCarthy in the first round, like the Denver Broncos, a team where they haven't had a good quarterback since Peyton Manning. They can't take a project quarterback. They need a day one starter.